Okay, so I'm kind of multitasking. I'm putting my notes in a web page and showing them, and I'm also using Notepad++ to create Java files and then run them and look at the output in a command prompt window. So I'm doing a couple different things here. First of all, this is a web page and it's called Java headfirst Java notes.html. And basically, I have two divs, a div with a class of left, and then you could see that it's kind of got like a blue outline. And then we have a div with a class of right, and it has kind of like, it looks gray. It's supposed to be a black border, but it actually comes out looking more gray. And this right here is showing me a Java file. It's called dog.java. But inside that file, we use the keyword class and we gave it the class name of dog. I went over this in my last video. I'm just going over it again, plus I have another set right there. But just to review, this class has three instance variables. It deals with three things: a size, a breed, and a name. Because size is dealing with a whole number for weight, we're going to give that a data type of integer. Because breed is going to be something like Beagle or Dalmatian or Akita, those are using words, we're going to give it a data type of string. And the same thing with name. It's going to be some words, so we're going to use that data type as string. So the class dog is only going to deal with these three things: size, breed, and name. And then we're going to give it a method, a bark method, that the only thing the bark method is going to do is print out the words rough rough. So you have the keyword void, then the name of the method bark, there's nothing in the parentheses, and inside its curly braces, all it is system.out.println, and in parentheses and double quotes the word rough rough. And then here's the ending semicolon here. As well, the semicolon ends there, and ends there, because it ends all of those statements. So this right here ends this method, and this right here ends class dog. So when we got to the class dog test, again, we named this dog test.java. But once we get in the file itself, we use the keyword class, we use the word dog test, and everything between, I did it again, everything between this curly brace and this one down here is the meat of the class. Because this is the test class, we're using this execution statement, public static void main string args. Like I said before, this is kind of like a light switch. I should probably say it's more like the power switch or the on switch that causes the program to run. And inside that main, there's the beginning curly brace for that main, and there's the ending curly brace for that main. So everything in there is going to execute. We're going to create a dog object. This is the dog class, but we want to create an object that represents that dog class that actually has specifics that relate to the instance variables that are in the dog class. So we have dog D equals new dog, and then you create it just like that. And then I think in the previous video I changed D to doodle or something like that. I'll just leave it D for here. Then when we want to use the name instance variable or the breed instance variable or the size instance variable, first we use that D that we created, that object of the class, use a dot and then the word name, set the equal sign to, since this is a string, page has to be in parentheses, and then you have the ending semicolon. You do the same thing with breed. D dot breed equals, and since we're talking about a string, it's got to be in double quotes, Akita. And there's your ending semicolon. You have D dot size equals 40. Well, this is an integer, so we don't need to worry about double quotes. We just need to put the whole number in there. So d.size equals 40 with the ending semicolon. And then d.bark just means that we're going to let the words rough print out in the command line window. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use system.out.println, and we're going to have it print out even more. Like I said, the first time we're going to print anything out, it's going to be this d.bark, so it's going to say rough. The next thing it's going to print out is my dog's name is plus d name, which we named Paige up here, and her breed is plus d breed, which is Akita, and she weighs plus d size, which is 40, and then you add the word pounds. So we already discussed that in a previous video. I'm just basically repeating this, and the next little section is similar, but this time instead of creating a dog class, we're going to create a movie class. And the instance variables that the movie class is going to deal with is a title, a genre, and a rating. Title's going to be string data type, so you have string title semicolon. The genre is going to be of text, letters, so we're going to have string genre. And then rating is going to be a number, so and it's going to be a whole number, not any decimal points. So we're going to give it a value of int. So we have string title, string genre, and int rating. And then just like the dog, we're going to give a little method. Void play it. And then in the in the parentheses, curly braces, we have system.out.println playing a movie now. With the dog bark, we had rough. This time we're going to have the words playing a movie now. And there's the ending curly brace to that method, and this ending curly brace to the class movie. So now over here, we're going to create our test Java class. Here we're going to say public class movie test. And when we create it in Notepad++, we're going to name it movietest.java. But again, the book is showing public class movie test, and in all of those curly braces from there to there, we're going to do basically the same thing, similar thing that we did with the dog. Well, first we're going to start off with that switch that turns it on, the execution statement, public static void main string args. Here we're going to create movie1 equals new movie. Again, we start off with the name of the class. The name of the class is movie, so we start off with the name of that class. Then we give it an object name, an object of the movie, and we're going to give it the name of 1. So movie1 equals new movie. Now we get to use that instance variable name right there, the dot operator, and now we get to use some of these pieces parts that the class movie deals with. So 1.title, set it equal to, and since this is a string, you have to put it in double quotes, 1.title equals the notebook, and then you end it with a semicolon. 1.genre equals drama, again in double quotes. 1.rating equals, this should not be 5 in double quotes. This is an int value, so we do not use the string literal double quotes. So I have to go in my code where I actually put that right here and get rid of those double quotes. None of the ratings should be considered a string literal. So let me remove all those double quotes here. Let me save that. Go back here and run it again. Okay, 1 rating equals 5. That's the proper way to do it. Now we're going to have more than one movie, and it's just as easy. You just give it a different name. So movie 2 equals new movie. 2.title equals liar liar. 2.genre equals comedy, and 2.rating equals 5. We're going to do another movie. Movie 3 equals new movie. 3.title equals red funnel. This is just a made-up name. 3.genre equals documentary. And 3.rating equals 1. So this is a made-up movie and we're going to pretend it sucked. Then we're going to have system.out.println. Now we want to actually spit out some information based on these things that we created. So we're going to put a string literal, these words that are going to come right out and say, the movies that we created in this movie test file are, all of that's in double quotes, and then we have a plus sign, one.title, plus, and then in double quotes a space and a comma, plus two.title plus, and in double quotes, oh, I did it again. Every time I try to just highlight this, I actually end up dragging it too. Then we have in double quotes a space, a comma, a space, the word and then we have plus three.title. So basically, the only thing I'm going to print out is the words, the movies that we created in this movie test file are, and then you're going to see the 3 movies listed. And then finally, in order to run the play it method, that it's going to spit out these words, playing a movie now, we have to choose one of our movies that we created. It doesn't matter which one at this point. You could say one.play it, or you could type in two.play it, or you could type in three.play it. You can't just put in play it. If you put in just play it, you'll have a problem. You have to use one of these objects that you created. Okay, so now I went over the code, and I don't know why it always does this. I don't need to add it to the dictionary. But those red squiggles, if they're not in the dictionary, it acts like it's something that's spelled wrong. Okay, so now I went over the code. Now I want to actually go to my Notepad++ itself, which is right here. And I can go over that web page really quick, just to remind you how to make a web page. There's the beginning HTML tag. I'm in Notepad++, and when I create this file, I would say save as, and I named this head first Java notes.html. That's what I named it. If I didn't already have it there, I would hit save and then I would start this typing. But since I do already have it, I really don't need to create it again. But you start off with the HTML tag, then a head tag, then a title. The title says Java Book Notes. And if you look when I open this up again, if you look up here in the tab of the browser, it says Java Book Notes. I did not give it that little icon, but that would be really simple to do because I have that icon right here in this Head First Java. So I can just open up this, I can snatch the java.ico, I could copy it and just paste it right here on the desktop. And I could right click this and edit with Notepad and just steal that link, because this is how you link that picture. So copy it, get out of there, right before the title, in the head, or after the title. I don't think it matters. Put the name of the ICO, which I named Java ICO. Now when I go to Java Book Notes, and now I have the icon. So not a big deal. Get out of this. What was I going to do? Oh, I'm going to go into my Notepad++. Now I'm going to create that. I'm going to create the movie here. I don't really need... Oh yeah, I'm not going to create the movie files yet. I'm going to go over the page. So HTML, head, there's the link. Link, rel equals shortcut icon, href equals java.ico, type equals image / x icon. Title, Java Book Notes, I just showed you that. The style, I've got a couple really short styles. I styled the body. I have something called class, it's a class, so it uses dot left, and then I have another class, dot right, and then I have another class, dot box, and then I have a text area. So for my body style, I have margin 0 pixels, padding 0 pixels. For the class of left, I have border thick blue inset, margin 0 pixels, padding 5 pixels, width 47%, float left, and height 96%. What that does is it gives me this square right here. And if I have a smaller monitor size, because each one of these are 47% in width, it's basically going to stretch and compact itself until it gets like this. Then it gets really narrow, then it just slides underneath, which I don't like that. I need to put a minimum width for this whole body so that it doesn't keep going smaller and smaller and do that. But I haven't done that at this point. I just wanted to show you it's got like a fluid. This is called a fluid layout, that these elements could actually stretch and contract depending on the size of the monitor window. Okay, so that's what with 47% does. And the class right is almost exactly the same. The only thing that's different is instead of border thick blue inset, it's border thick black inset. The margin of 0 pixels is the same. The padding of 5 pixels is the same. The width of 47% is the same. The float left is the same. And the height is the same. Now, because all of this is the same as the one above it, I can put dot left, comma, dot right. I can take all of this out there. What this means is for the class of left and the comma, the class of right, both of these share this same exact style. But then when we get to the class of right, the only thing that's different is the border thick black inset. So we can just leave that changed style for the dot right. The dot box I actually have on the outside of both the left and the right. It's got a border of thick green inset, padding 0 pixels, float left, width 99%. It's 99% of the whole page. Margin is 0 pixels and height is 97%. And that is, you can hardly see it, but it's green. It's green all the way around, and it's actually a little bit bigger, because if I had tried to put this 50% and 50%, it would be too much, because there's borders and there's padding here, and it would be more than 100% of the page, so it wouldn't fit. So there's this little sponge area right here that I don't really like the way it looks, but considering I have to be able to open this and close this for different monitor sizes, I'll just have to deal with it for right now. The text area. The text area, I have a width of 100%, a height of 100%. I have resize none, font size 35 pixels, and font weight bolder. That is pertaining to the size and thickness of the font inside these text areas. This is a text area. If you notice, there's a fine, fine, fine blue line on the inside of both of these. What a text area does is I can come in this text area right here as looking at the user interface, and I could actually type stuff in here. But the thing of it is, this is not going to save on the inside, because if I hit refresh, all right, well, now it wants to make a liar out of me. If I hit refresh, generally it won't save this, but there must be, let me get out of here, period, and let me run this again. Run in Firefox. You see, oh, that's the dog. You see, anything that I had typed in there before disappears once you rerun it. If you want something to stay in a text area after you type out here, let's say you're watching a video on this side of the screen, and here you have a text area and you're writing notes. Well, what you have to do at that point is save everything that's in the text area, and then come here inside to your code where it says text area, and then just paste it right there. That way, when you save it, every single time you open your page, the new part that you typed into the text area will be there. Now, let's say you take all the notes that you need. Then you go back into your tag, and in the beginning text area tag, you click the word, type the word disabled. Now what happens when you refresh? Do you see how this went gray? You can no longer click inside here and type anything. This text area is now disabled, and if you can't read it very well, which you really can't, what you do in your style for text area, instead of allowing that font color to go gray like it is, you can hit color black. Okay, that should darken it up when I refresh. See, now you can see it better. It's a slightly different color. It's white over here and it's kind of like a beigeish over here, but at least you can read it better. And here, this is not disabled. I can type in it, but here I cannot click in this one or type in this one at all because it's now disabled. The nice thing about using a text area when you're doing notes for on a web page like this is that you can type any way you want with spaces and everything, and the browser will read what you write as you write it. If you don't use a text area, the browser won't respect spaces or new lines or anything like that without special symbols. So text areas are pretty cool. Okay, so I might as well disable the other text areas because I don't need the user to be able to type in it from the outside. So text area disabled there, and text area disabled there. And if I do that, now they're all that color. All right, but let me go down. So see, now there's nothing, you can't type inside any of this. But let me go back to where I was. HTML, head, link, title, style. I went over all the style now. That's the end of the head. Here's the body. We have a div class box, which I already read the style of the box. And then inside of that div, we have div class left. That's going to be the square on the left side. In that, we have text area disabled. And then I just typed out the code that I put in my Java file. Just exactly the way I type it, it shows up, right? It shows up just the way I wrote it. If I took this and put another couple of spaces in here and then ran this again, maybe it isn't doing it because I made it disabled. Let me try it again. Okay, well, forget about the spaces. I guess it's not important. Anyway, there's the class that holds both of the squares together. This is the left box. This is the text area with the dog Java file. There's the end of the text area and the end of the div. The end of the div called left, class left. Then we create another div, class equals right, text area disabled, and here's my dog test.java file information, and that's right here. That's right here. End of the text area, end of the div, right, and end of the div box. Then I put this comment, this long double-lined comment here because I wound up taking all of this from div class box all the way to the ending div. I copied all of this, and then I came down under this green line and I pasted it all. And the only thing I did was I erased what was in the first text area, and I erased what was in the second text area, and I created my new Java. Here's my class movie, string title, string genre, int rating, void play it, system.out.println playing a movie now. These are the notes that I just read already. And here's my div class right, text area disabled, public class movie test, public static void main string args, movie 1 equals new movie, 1.title equals the notebook, 1.genre equals drama, 1.rating equals 5. And the same thing with this one, and the same thing with this one. And then here's my system.out.println. The movies that we created in this movie test file are plus 1.title, plus a comma with a space, plus 2.title, and a comma and a space, and 3.title. And then I have 1.playit, which will end up giving us this, playing a movie now. Okay, then the end of the right, and the end of the box, the end of the body, the end of the HTML. And all of this HTML gave me this with 2 squares and this with 2 squares so that I could show side by side the class and the tester class for both of those snippets. Now I already ran this one and showed you. Now I'm going to do this one and run it and let you see the output in the command line window. So let's go back to, I don't need to look at this Java first, head first Java notes.html file anymore. I do not need to do that. What I do need to do is create my movie.java and my movie test.java file. So we got file, save as, desktop, movie.java, save. Double click over here, file, save as, movie test.java, save. So now I've got 2 movie files, movie and movie test, but there's nothing in it. So here let's go to movie, and since this is disabled I can't highlight it, but if it was not disabled I could copy and paste it. Since I can't copy and paste it, I'm going to see if I can just type it real quick. Class movie. And then we have our curly braces. String title. And I can't forget my semicolon. String genre semicolon. Int rating semicolon. Void play it. There's the empty parentheses, and system.out.println, and in parentheses and double quotes, playing a movie now, ... Okay, and it automatically ends, it automatically gives you both curly braces. So there's the end of the curly braces for play it, and here's the end of the curly braces for the class itself. So there's the class movie. Now let me come over here and copy this. This is our public class movie test. Public class movie test. Go down. Public static void main string args, and then we do another curly braces, and we create movie 1 equals new movie. 1.title equals the notebook, and then after the double quote we have to put a semicolon. 1.genre equals drama, and don't forget the semicolon. And 1.rating equals 5. Again, don't put that in double quotes because it's not a string. Now we create the next one. Movie 2 equals new movie. Oops. 2.title equals liar, liar, semicolon. 2.genre equals comedy, semicolon. 2.rating equals 5. And let's do the last one. Movie 3 equals new movie. 3.title equals red funnel, semicolon. 3.genre equals documentary, semicolon. 3.rating equals 1. And then we have a system.out.println. Oops. The stuff that's going to print out is what's going to be in the parentheses and double quotes. The movies that we created in this movie test file are. Now, that's all a string, but we have to add plus 1.title plus, now you got to give yourself a comma and a space, plus, oops, 2.title, give yourself another comma and another space, and actually a comma and the word and a space, plus 3.title. All right. So that's going to tell us the name of the 3 movies that we create. Then we have to pick one of our creations, our movie 1, our movie 2, or our movie 3, and use one of those, 1, 2, or 3, and a dot operator, and then call our play it method. All right. Now we're going to save that. Now I have both of these on my desktop. So now it's time to compile. And as long as I didn't make any boo-boos, I can minimize this. As long as I didn't make any boo-boos, when I compile movie test, I should get a movie dot class and a movie test dot class should show up right here on my desktop. So let's go for CD for change directory. And I'm going to change it to my desktop. Then I'm going to use the Java C for Java compile keyword, and I'm going to type in the name movietest.java, hit enter. It's going to think, and I have errors. Movietest.java 4. So in line 4 it says that a beginning parentheses or a beginning straight brace is expected from movie 1 equals new movie. So let's look for line 4 right here. Movie 1 equals new movie. It says the same thing. What did I do wrong? Let's see. Let me look back at my notes and see how I did dog. Ah, here we go. Dog D equals new dog, and I have to have an empty parentheses. And I did not do it here. Movie 1 equals new movie. I did not do it. So for those 3 items, I have to go back into 2 places. I have to go back into my little note page that I created right here. Right click, edit with notepad. Let me open this up. my head first Java notes.html. I got to go down to where I created my notes from new movie right here. That's all I needed to do. Add an empty parentheses. Movie 2 equals new movie. Empty parentheses. And movie 3 equals new movie. Empty parentheses. Let's save that. Now let me go to my movie test. And let me add those missing parentheses there. And then add them here. And then add them there. Okay. So let's see if that corrected my 3 errors. Let me hit my up key to Java C movie test.java again and enter. Let's see if it I see what I did. Okay. The error is in movie test.java line 9. Error, cannot find symbol. So look for 9. Movie 2 equals new movie. Right here, this needed to be capitalized because it needs to match. The class is capitalized. So that's where I messed up there. And let's see if I did the same thing. No, in my HTML notes, I did it right. It was just here that I did it wrong. Okay, so let's try it again. Back to my insertion point on my command prompt, I hit my up key so that I don't have to type Java C movie test.java all over again. Hit enter. And see how it gave me my path. Told me I had no more errors. So that means that I have finally compiled cleanly. And because I finally fixed my errors, Java created my movie.class and my movie.test.class. So now that I have 2 Javas and 2 classes, I'm going to run it by just doing Java without the C and then movie test without the .java extension. Hit enter. And the output says the movies that we created in this movie test file are The Notebook, Liar Liar, and Red Funnel. And then we had Playing a Movie Now. That was the action that we were supposed to have. So that's it for this video. I showed you quite a few things. Again, how to do another Java file and run it in the command window for output, and also how to put your notes in an HTML web page.